Hello guys, welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. There is a message that I want to share with you guys, and the message reads like this. Hello, how are you, my brother? Can you please post for me? I have come here on your platform so as to confess. I have my own confession, and I hope that maybe this confession of mine, it is going to assist me, hoping that the bitterness that is there in my heart will eventually go away. What happened to me, my brother, is that I was working at this other shop. I do not want to mention the nationality of that person whom I was working for. Well, I am a South African woman, by the way. When I was working there, he then told me that he loved me, and I didn't want to date my boss, but I then just agreed so that he can stop bothering me like the way that he was bothering me. So many times he would drive and he would come to our house and he would just park his car throughout the night, asking me to come out of our house. So my mom kept on telling me that I should go and speak with him, and whenever I would go and speak with him, he would give me something so as to thank my mom, after I would have told him that if it was not for my mom, I would have never came out of the house so late at night. So in the end, I just said, fine, let me try to date this guy. At that time, I only had one child whom I eventually lost. And the way that I lost this child of mine, it still stresses me even right now. I was given everything by this man, everything that a girl can ever ask for. But when I look at the children that I eventually had with this man, I don't know if I should love them or not, because it was like for him to give me all the things that he gave me, I had to lose my child. Soon after, I had started dating this man, and after I had started dating this man, that was when I noticed that this man, he was a man who was quite a controlling man because of his religion. He is a Muslim guy, by the way. He would control all of my movements. As a girl who was being treated really good by this man, I thought that I should give him all of me, but whenever I'll be with him in bed, if I tried to please him, he would even say that the way that I am acting as if I am a loose woman. So from there on until now, he banned me, and he said that I do not want you to act like you are a loose woman. Only women that are loose are the ones that can show to their husbands that they are enjoying making love to their husbands. I am not allowed to do anything. We only make love, he said, because this is a way of human beings to have children. That is what he said. He then said that only loose people are the ones that try to enjoy making love. All those that are evil at heart, they are the ones that try enjoy making love. So all of these years that I have survived with this man, and you can notice that I have said survived, I have not said married to this man, because for me it is all about survival. This man, yes, he took me out of the dusty streets and he put me in a position whereby I never thought I'll be called a wealthy woman. So I think that he is using all of his wealthy status so as to control my life, but he does not show it, especially when I am with him back home visiting my cousins and my aunties. Since after I had started staying with him, that was when my mom passed away and I never knew my father. So I'm like the mother and the father figure to most of my relatives as well as my siblings. Whenever I am with my relatives or my siblings, he acts like he's a very good son-in-law. Mostly to my cousin sisters, he acts like he is quite a cool guy, and they think that I am actually the one who is a bad girl. There was a time when my cousin sisters even bothered me. They actually thought that I am the one who is treating him very badly. They also wanted me to look for a guy who is from outside of the country, but I hesitated because of the way that he has been treating me. I don't want any of my cousins to suffer. Yes, it is far much better that they hate me. I know that behind my back they always gossip about me. They think that I don't want them to fall in love with his other brothers and stuff like that. They said that you just want to eat the money alone whilst we are suffering here in the location. Let us also have stable marriages and have stable guys that have stable financials. So after he had told me that I was a loose woman, I then started controlling myself whenever I'll be with him. He does not want me to react in any kind of a way that will show him that I am enjoying. If I show him that I am enjoying, immediately he will get off from top of me. Then he will say that, what are you doing? You are acting as if you are an evil woman. Even the way that I fell pregnant and had kids, it is just by chance, because for many months we can go on and on without ever sleeping with each other. You know, someone can tell you some things that have hidden meanings, and the more that you think about it, after I had started dating him, he told me something that I still do not even understand up until today. So this man, when I had fallen pregnant for our first child that we had together, he then touched my stomach and he then started praying, and he said that this is going to be your first child. So as a woman who had a child already, I then said, what do you mean that this is going to be my firstborn? Because I have given birth before, considering the fact that when you found me, I already had one child. Then he just remained quiet. But after the death of my child, I then came to the realization that indeed he meant what he meant when he said that this was going to become my first child, because I eventually lost my child that I had before I had started dating him. And the way that I lost my child, it was in that same month when I was supposed to go and give birth, and my baby fell sick. This is the child that I lost that I had with my ex-boyfriend. The child felt sick and he was the one who traveled. I don't even want to mention the place where I come from, but me and him, we stay here in Joburg. He traveled all alone, going back to the place where I was born, where most of my relatives are, and where my child was staying with one of my brothers. So when the phone call came in and when I was told that my child was sick, me and him, we were sleeping in bed, and immediately he jumped out of bed. I thought that maybe he was going somewhere when I heard that he was driving the car out of the garage. When he had gone out of the house for something like 30 to 35 minutes, that was when I called him, thinking that maybe something bad might have happened to him, because he had not told me where exactly he was going to. And he called me and he told me that I am going to collect the child, and he said our child. That was the only time he ever said that my child that I had before I had met him was also his child. All along he had been avoiding my baby, but on that night he drove all the way going back to the place where my brother was staying with my daughter. But when I thought about that throughout the night, I thought that maybe he was doing it out of love. So when he came back the next morning, it was him and my baby. But the previous night, my brother, I had a very strange dream. When I was sleeping, I saw him entering into the bedroom, which is our bedroom, and I saw that he was holding my child in his hands, and he then dropped my child to the floor and he started laughing. So I asked him why he had done such an evil thing of dropping my child to the floor, knowing that my child was really sick. But he kept on laughing and laughing. When I wanted to get out of bed so that I can pick up my child, I saw that my child's leg, they were no longer like human legs. There was nothing anymore there. When I looked closely, I then saw that there was a tail instead of legs, and this tail that was on my child's body, it was the tail of a snake. And as I looked and as I watched, I saw the whole body of my child being transformed, and she became like a snake. Then the snake just looked at me and it disappeared. When I wanted to ask my husband what had made my daughter to become a snake, I could not find my husband as well. Then it just came out of the floor, my brother. It just came out of the floor. I don't know how to explain it. Then he just ignored me and he walked out of the bedroom. I then fell asleep. I was really scared. Then when I tried to fall asleep again, after this whole strange dream that I had, I suffered so much, my brother, because I was really scared and I didn't want to be alone. I called out my maid because she was staying at the back room. I called her and I said, please, can you sleep in the living room? But I didn't tell her about that nightmare that I had. All that I wanted was to know that there was someone who was with me in the house. Then I returned back to the bedroom, but still I could not sleep. I just felt like there was something or someone that was with me in the bedroom. I could not even sleep, and the worst mistake is that my bed, it is in the center of the bedroom, so I was really scared, like if I would sleep whilst I would be facing the other way, the moment that I would face the right side, then I would feel as if there was someone who was just standing there on the left side of the bed trying to grab me or to snatch me. Something seemed to be so demonic inside my bedroom on that night. I felt really scared. It was more like I was now living in a horror movie. I then chose to wake up, and when I woke up, I went and I sat on the couch that is there in the bedroom. I just sat there until I fell asleep. Then I woke up in the morning and he had came back with my child. When he had came back with my child could not speak anymore, and he had brought my cousin sister along with him. But what I noticed about him, my brother, is that each and every woman out there knows the smell of their husband, but when he came back, he was smelling different, like strong, powerful herbs. My husband had that strong, powerful smell of herbs. He then entered into the bathroom, and when he came back, I saw that he was really angry. I don't know what he was all angry about. Then in the afternoon, my daughter got really sick and we had to rush her to the hospital. Strange enough, on that day, my husband was supposed to go on this other business meeting, but he chose not to go on that meeting. He was just at home, hanging around, not doing anything. And after my baby had fallen sick, that was when he received this funny phone call and he rushed out of the house. He only came back after I had called him over the phone and I was crying. That was when he said that he was already at home. So it gave me a lot of stress because I kept on thinking as to why he had chosen to go home straight before he had came to pick me and my cousin sister at the hospital, because I thought that this was what he was supposed to do. Feeling really nervous and all of the stress of losing my child. Unfortunately, my brother, that was when my waters broke and I had to be taken to the labor ward. This whole thing happened when I was about to leave the hospital with my cousin sister. That was when one security looked at me and she said, this woman, she is not fine. When she said that I should sit on one of the chairs where the securities were sitting, that was when they saw that there was water that was all over my thighs, going down my legs, and they knew that I was about to give birth. They then called some of the emergency team and they came and they picked me up from the gate and I was taken to the labor ward. It was really painful, my brother, knowing that in the same hospital where my daughter had passed away, I was also giving birth to my child. It was really terrible. Even at the time when they were telling me to push the baby, I didn't even have any strength at all. And after I had given birth, I even failed to hold my baby because I kept on thinking about my child who was lying in the mortuary at that same hospital where I had given birth to. So it was very traumatic for me. And after I had given birth, my husband was there waiting for me. He had bought a very expensive ring for me. I can say that from that time when I lost my baby in that hospital, that was when he started spoiling me. He started buying expensive gifts from me, because on that day he came with a ring. This ring, he said that it is yours. It is just a gift. I just want to say thank you for giving me my first child. And this ring, my brother, when I looked at the receipt, it was a 28,000 ring. It costed a lot of money, and he gave me that ring. All the jewelry that he buys for me, when I look back in the past, this story, it happened about 10 years ago. It is quite a fortune that he has spent whilst spoiling me. Maybe he thinks that if he spoils me, I am going to forget about my daughter, but I am in pain. The time that I lost my daughter, I failed to recover. Like recently, me and him, we were driving. That was when he told me that one of his friend's wife, she had been hijacked and she had lost her car. I asked him what type of a car she was driving at that time, and he said that it was a latest BMW model. So as we were speaking, I then asked him if the insurance had given her another car. Then he said yes, the insurance had given her an Audi A3. And I said, oh, that is good. And he started laughing at me, and he said, oh, you think that an Audi A3 is good? Wait for the car that I am going to bless you with this year. He said that it is a type of a Kia. I don't know the model yet, but he said that it is a very expensive model, and he said it is a very beautiful car. My brother, I know that he is trying to make me forget about my daughter, but I don't think that any of the gifts that he gave me and the way that he takes care of my relatives will ever replace the love that I had for my daughter. And what pains me is that whenever I am with my kids, the kids that we had together, when I look at them, sometimes I feel so much pain, because as a mother, I failed to give them my complete love because of the way that I lost my daughter.